Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to go over stiff leg walking. By the end of this video, you're going to know what causes stiff leg walking, what it looks like to know if this is something that you are struggling with, and 3 simple drills that you can start doing today to help normalize your walking pattern, primarily smoothing out the swinging phase of walking. If you're new to this channel, I'm Tara. I'm a neurologic physical therapist with over 20 years of experience helping people restore their mobility and their independence after a neurologic injury. And I've taken everything that I've learned in those 20 plus years and I've put them into our Rehab HQ membership program. If you want to learn more about our membership or you want to sign up, you can visit rehab-hq.com. But now, back to the topic of today's video, and that is smoothing out the swinging phase of walking and minimizing this stiff leg walking pattern that many of you are struggling with. So I just kind of demonstrated it, but what does a stiff leg walking pattern look like? Well, some people swing their leg around the side, some people hike their hip up, but the main culprit is the inability to be able to clear your foot on the ground for a variety of reasons that we're going to go into in this video. And therefore, because you can't clear the ground, you compensate in some way to make sure that you do not catch your toe on the ground. Now, the way other people describe how this feels is either the leg feels heavy, it feels like it's stuck to the ground, or it just feels stiff or locked up. So if you've ever described your walking pattern with any of those words when you're trying to swing your leg through, then you're probably dealing with a stiff leg walking pattern. Real quick, a common mistake that gets made after neurologic recovery is to believe that selecting the right exercise is the most important thing to restoring your mobility and your independence. And that brings us to the sponsor of today's video, and that is BetterHelp. After nearly 20 plus years of helping people restore their mobility and their independence after a neurologic injury, I've noticed a consistent area that often gets overlooked. Most of the focus in rehab, but also in the research, is the physical side of recovery. But the mental side of recovery is not equally, if not more important than finding the perfect exercise. And the reality is, people that suffer a catastrophic health crisis that affects your physical mobility means that you're not just learning how to regain your independence, you're learning how to adjust to new limitations. You're having to develop new routines that in many cases involves caregivers. And in many cases, you're having to cope and adapt to an entirely new way of life than you had expected. And addressing these mental health challenges, unfortunately, is still kind of taboo. But let me tell you from my experience that overcoming the mental and emotional obstacles that are inevitably going to present themselves is absolutely essential to your physical recovery. And unfortunately, most of us did not develop the necessary tools to navigate such an enormous challenge on our own. It is so valuable to have a trained expert help you to develop a structured plan with tools to cope to some of the realities of your new life situation, but more importantly, empower you with tools that can really magnify all of the exercises that you're so diligently doing to restore your physical mobility. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that connects you with a licensed professional. One reason people like BetterHelp is because you can do it from the convenience of your own home. In addition to that, if you're not meshing with the therapist that you have, you can change therapists at any time. If you really want to become what I often talk about on this channel as one of those outliers, those high achievers, those 1% that prove everyone wrong and go above and beyond what even their doctors thought was possible, working with a licensed therapist is absolutely essential. If you want to stop navigating this journey alone, you should definitely consider giving BetterHelp a try. To learn more about how it works or to sign up, you can visit betterhelp.com/rehabhq. I promise you, whether it be through BetterHelp or it be through a therapist that you see in person, you will not be disappointed in the results. and the reward for your hard work in addressing the mental health challenges that come along with a neurologic injury will be greater independence and absolutely an improved quality of life. But now back to today's video. I did a video a few weeks ago. That was kind of like part 1 in this series. I will link that video in the description below, where I talked about how critical it is that we address the standing phase first before you can really improve a more relaxed swing phase. And if you haven't watched that video, that is truly foundational. You really need to do the drills in that video first. So again, that video will be linked in the description to this video. And in that video, we talked about like this co-contraction, meaning all the muscles in your leg just want to kind of stay contracting at the same time. And of course, that's not ideal when you want to bring your leg through. Great for standing on the leg, but not great for swinging the leg through. Today, we're going to talk about another very common problem after a stroke, and that is the inability or difficulty with timing muscles. Now, what do I mean by muscle timing? Now, we talk a lot on this channel about abnormal muscle synergy patterns, but we also have like normal synergy patterns. It's how our brain and our body just become more efficient. And why is this so important? Because muscles aren't like all or none. There's not just like they either turn on or they turn off. When it comes to an activity like walking, muscles are more like an orchestra. There are certain muscles that are kind of humming gently in the background. There are certain muscles at a specific moment in the walking cycle that are very loud, while others are kind of being suppressed. And it is this muscle synergy that occurs that allows dancers to be able to dance, gymnasts to be able to do all of the flips and the twists and everything that they do in the air. After many repetitions of doing drills and drills and drills, they build these normal synergy patterns that are kind of like their new kind of default modes. So what does this mean for us as humans? When we build up these synergy patterns, we don't have to think so much. It's kind of like the band is just playing and you're just kind of moving to the music. But what you'll notice after a stroke or a neurologic injury is that you've lost that beautiful symphony. You have a kid over there just kind of banging on the piano. You got a drummer over there that's just kind of banging on the drums, and maybe someone on some sort of a horn instrument just kind of blowing into that instrument. And none of these instruments are coming together to create that beautiful sound anymore. You got a lot of ballistic movements, but sticking with the analogy, it's just not pretty. Doesn't sound pretty, and when it comes to walking, it doesn't look or feel pretty. Now, why does this happen after a neurologic injury? Spasticity, abnormal synergy patterns, which I've talked a ton about on this channel, which all occur as due to some sort of disruption in a motor movement network in the brain. Now, hopefully that helps you understand why your walking feels the way it does and why you're ending up with this stiff leg gait. But now what do you do about it? Well, you try and get that nice symphony back where muscles are coming in at the right time, exiting at the right time, and there is this beautiful harmony, right? Stiff leg, swinging the leg around the side, that's all kids playing their different instruments. No one's working together. Timing is all off. What does swing phase look like when they're all playing nice together or creating this harmony? You get knee flexion. So you're standing on the leg. You want to go to swing the leg. You get knee flexion, hip flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, knee extension, right? So there's harmony. There's muscles coming in at the right time and there's muscles turning off at the right time. None of this ballistic, right? So what do we need to work on? Knee flexion, hip flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, knee extension. What do we not need to think about? Knee flexion, hip flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, knee extension. I promise you on this, the second you start thinking about all those individual things, your leg is going to go right back to all the kids playing their instruments, just banging on their instruments individually without working together. How do you work on it? You do tons and tons of drills where you're just doing the movement. That is learning. Not focusing on isolating a specific muscle or not focusing necessarily on isolating one component of that. It's doing it all together to restore harmony or muscle synergy, normal muscle synergy. And for that, I love, love, love resistance bands. Not to apply resistance to make a movement harder, but to apply resistance to make a movement easier. So that's first, is using resistance bands, which we'll go into in a minute. And number two is choosing a position where you can set your muscles up for success to actually be able to relax. And standing is not that position. Why? Because spasticity and a lot of these kind of like default things that happen when you have damage to your brain or your spinal cord, which I've talked quite a bit about this channel as to what my hypothesis is on why these abnormal movement patterns occur, is I do think that they are kind of protective, meaning that our brain does not want us to crumple to the ground. So if we've lost a motor area of the brain, it would be nice if there was a default mechanism in place that just caused muscles to contract, i.e. give us a peg leg so that we don't crumple to the ground. So why is that suboptimal if we're going to work on getting this harmony back? Well, you're going to have a really hard time getting muscles to turn off if you're standing. So that's why I always like to do these activities laying down with a resistance band around your ankle. You tie the other end to a wall and you just work on the rhythm, right? So if you're laying on your back and you have a resistance band around your ankle, it's knee flexion, hip flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, and then back down. And then back up, knee flexion, hip flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, and back down. Now, what are you focused on in this? Visualizing yourself walking and just getting that rhythm, allowing the band to help you up, help bring that leg or coordinate these muscles together. Now, I mentioned this in the first video, but it's worth mentioning again. The main culprit that I believe interferes with this muscle timing after a neurologic injury is spasticity. What is spasticity? Spasticity is involuntary contraction of, in many cases, the quadricep muscles and the muscles that point the foot down. You don't want to be giving your brain like really active commands. You don't want to be thinking, bring your knee up. You want to be thinking, allow the band to bring the knee up and then push it back down. Allow the band to bring it up and then push it back down. I also love this one on your side. Again, just a different way of just really, really working on this hip flexion, knee flexion, ankle dorsiflexion. And then once you feel like you're getting this rhythm, it feels smooth, it's not super jerky, then you could try and take this into standing. In standing, I love the resistance band belt. You guys have seen me show this exercise a ton. Again, you're working on the rhythm, coordinated muscle activation through the swinging phase of walking, knee flexion, then hip flexion, then knee extension. So knee flexion, then ankle dorsiflexion, then knee extension. Not hip flexion first, which is what most of you are doing, then your legs swinging around the side. Knee flexion, hip flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, knee extension. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. If you did and you like the way that I have broken this skill down, you would absolutely find our membership program helpful, where I do this with all of your daily tasks. And all of the skill breakdowns are in a software system where you can easily search the exercise vault to get to the exact movement problems that you want to improve to make your movements possible, but even more importantly, more efficient. To learn more about our membership program or to sign up, you can visit rehab-hq.com. I enjoyed spending time with you all today, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.